Hello fellow woodworkers and welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop. This week we're going to be looking at my Christmas haul, giving a shout out to some other YouTubers and having a little bit of an update on the Garage Workshop. Roll the intro. Okay, so welcome to this week's video. Slightly different video this week. I'm not making anything in the Garage Workshop for two main reasons. Number one, it's Boxing Day here in the UK, which is the day after Christmas Day, and it's been a very, very busy festive time, seeing family and all those other things. So that's the first reason. And the second reason, had a little bit of a disaster in the workshop on Friday, which was on Christmas Eve. I've got a leak in the roof next door to the workshop, and it took out the electrics and blew one of the lights, hence the ring on the camera that you can see today. So I'm part way through repairing them. I've got one of the lights replaced, but the other light needs to be replaced. So I'm going to replace that before I do any more builds. But interestingly, the light that I've put up, which is an LED flat panel that I got from the middle of Lidl, is brighter than the old 2-tube light that I've got existing, fluorescent tubes. So when that's done, I'll have a little bit of a show around so you can see the new lights. They're very small, very compact, but they're absolutely fantastic. So next week we're going to have another build, and I've got some really interesting things coming up in the Garage Workshop, and we'll talk a little bit about those later on. Okay, so like many of you, it was Christmas Day yesterday, and I'm sure if you're a woodworker, you managed to get some fantastic woodworking gifts. I was very fortunate. Santa visited me and gave me a lot of things off my woodworking list that I asked for. So I thought it would be really good to just go through some of these things in case A, you've got them and you're interested to see what my opinion is, or B, you haven't got them but you think, oh, that would be quite handy. I'd like to have one of those. So we're going to start in what seems like an unusual order with something that's not relating directly to woodworking, but is related to these woodworkers' hands. And I don't know if you get the same problem, but I'm getting terrible dry hands and split hands from working with the wood all the time. Now, I have been using a Body Shop hemp type wood hand moisturizer when I've used wood, but somebody who I know very closely recommended to me O'Keeffe's, and for Christmas I got given one of these O'Keeffe's sets. Now, currently I have quite a few splits because I also go running as well in the cold, and it's really dried my hands up. And I've already tried the working hands from O'Keeffe's, and I'm sure many of you know these, but if you don't, it is pricey, I'm not going to lie, it is expensive, but one little rub of that O'Keeffe's working hands and the splits on my hands dried up instantly. This is a sort of Christmassy gift pack. It's got a foot rub and a lip balm as well, but already I'm going to say can't recommend that highly enough, the O'Keeffe's hand working skincare. So very lucky to get that. Was my first gift from Santa. Okay, so the second gift that I got from Santa, you know, really normal, average, everyday thing, is a pack of Stanley knives. There were two in the pack here, and it's slightly broken off. But I bought these two because, of course, like everybody, I've got a Stanley knife. I've got probably 10 or 15, but I've always tended to opt for the sort of cheaper Poundland versions. I have got a proper nice metal one, a Magnuson one, I think, a folding over one, which you may have seen me use, but I don't actually have a proper Stanley knife. And this was a nice little gift pack. It came with two knives and a body, and it was ridiculous. On sale at something like $4.99 or $8.99, something like that. So that was a nice stocking filler for me, and something that I really needed. The next present, now, if you know what this is, please put it in the comments down below. I do not actually know the correct name for this. Obviously I know what it's for, and I know how to use it, and it is for marking pieces of wood when you want to score or just put a line down so you know where you're cutting or drilling or screwing. I actually haven't had one of these. I've tended to use a roofer's square to do this, but I saw this and I thought, oh, you know, that seems just the sort of thing that I need, and it is one of the things that I don't have in the workshop. This one is made by Rst Tools. I've never heard of them. Again, it came in the stocking from Santa, but a really, really nice piece of kit. And there's been a couple of occasions where I've done woodworking projects where I thought, oh, I would just like to do that, or I've run my hand or a pencil along the edge of the roofing square, which is okay to a point, but it's not fantastic. So that's the second one. If you do know what it is, pop a comment in the box below. I can't remember, I probably should know, but I'm just going to call it pointy markery uppy thingy, because I know what it means. So that's the next item in my Christmas haul. Okay, so the next item is actually a collection of items. As you'll have seen many times before, or heard me talk about many times before, I'm a big fan of Supermarket or Aldi and Lidl tools. Parkside range is the Lidl range, and Work Zone is the Aldi range, and both sets of ranges I've had no problems with. I did a review of all my Parkside tool hauls, and I'll put a link above if you didn't see that. And I'm a really big believer in buying things that are cheaper, because 9 times out of 10 I bet they're manufactured in the same place as more expensive brands, or a lot of them are. So the next present I got from Santa, he's good Santa, is a collection of these. These are basic plates. They are the Parkside brand, and they're a collection of hinges or right angle plates or T-junction plates. I have used these in lots and lots of my projects. If you saw my recent project on the Christmas post box, which I'll link above, you saw me use that to join the sides together. Fantastic pieces of kit, and each one of these packs was $1.99. That's all they were, $1.99 each. So I picked up the 3 sets, not the normal sort of traditional L hinge type ones. These are sort of slightly different. So I picked those up just before Christmas, or Santa picked them up for me, and they're in my stocking. So Parkside hinges and brackets. Okay, the next item that I got in my stocking was another Parkside product, and it was a set of these flattened wooden drill bits. Now, I know they've got a name. I want to say Forstner-bit. I can't actually remember. I think it is Forstner-bit. Now, I've got lots of these. I'm sure you have, fellow woodworkers. Now, the reason why I picked up this pack is it has at the top, it's got a set of 4, as you can see, but the biggest one that it goes to is 40 millimeters, so 4 centimeters, and the sets I've got, the drill bit sets I've got, I think the biggest one I've gone up to is a 30, and that's a particular reason why I bought this one. Again, really cheap. I think these were $3.99 for a set of 4. I probably won't use the other ones, as I said, I've already got them. Nice to have a spare, but it was that one that I particularly bought it for. And if you went out and bought that in Screwfix or B&Q or somewhere like that, it would probably cost you most of the money just to get one individual drill bit. So I got 4 in a really nice little set. Talking of drill bits, this is even better, and as you can see, it was reduced 30% cheaper. It was £2.70, and this is just a very simple driver set, but it's got a very nice magnetic holder for the ends. Now, I've got a lot of these, and my magnetic ones are quite cheap, and they don't tend to stay magnetized for very long. This one is just an additional to that, and I also haven't got one that's got that sort of connector on it, so I thought always handy to have an extra option, and it was 30% off in the Parkside range, so I thought, why not? Sticking very much with the drill bit theme and the Parkside theme is this. This was in the Parkside middle of Lidl about the end of October, I think, beginning of November, and it is quite simply an adjustable hole saw. Now, I've got a hole saw, in fact I've got a whole set of hole saws, I'm sure many of you have. This one in particular though has the ability to change depth, so you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller to deliver or drill various size holes. It was quite expensive, I think it was $9.99, but I have seen them used before. I haven't ever used this one before, but I have seen them used, and I've heard people talk about them online as working really, really well. So, an adjustable hole saw. So if you're buying a set, you've got everything you need in one little package. The next little gift that Parkside brought me was one of these. It's a flexible spirit level, and as you can see from the picture, I'll put a close-up in. It's basically, if you want to get a spirit level that obviously doesn't go flat like most spirit levels do, and the example here is if it was measuring around a drain pipe, but there have been lots of occasions where I've wanted to keep, when I've been upgrading the workshop storage, I've wanted to keep something nice and straight, and I've had to spirit level it up and then mark and measure the other side. So this would give me all of that in one go. And also, if I wanted to go around, in the example, if I wanted to go around and box something in or put something on a pipe or something sticking out of the wall, it's going to give me that flexibility too. Again, I think it was about $8.99, but a really, really nice little piece of kit there. So really, really handy. Sticking with Parkside again, I think most of my tools came from Parkside. The next tool in the Parkside range that I got from Santa was one of these, and it's like basically a little mini Saber Saw, or a little mini reciprocating saw. It's a little handheld one, and I bought this specifically to complement my Japanese pool saws. I've got a couple of Japanese pool saws. One of them's a Parkside one, and one I got off Amazon. And the reason that I got this is it's more like a reciprocating saw, because obviously my pool saws will only cut wood, but the blades are in here. One of them is a wood blade, and one of them is a plastic metal blade, and these blades are also all compatible with the Parkside table saw. Link above to my review to the Parkside table saw in case you haven't seen it. It's quite sturdy. The pack's actually, you know, quite heavy. It's not cheap and plasticky. It looks like it. Obviously it is made of plastic, but it looks pretty good. It's got a nice looking rubber grip on the side, and I think this was about £6.99. So I've obviously been good this year because Santa spent quite a bit of money on me. So a Saber Saw with a saw blade, really going to be handy across the workshop. So the next stocking filler I got, and you'll be pleased to know this is the last of the Parkside range, is a plastic pipe cutter. Now, being a woodworking channel, you would think, why on earth have I got a plastic pipe cutter? But I've had 3 occasions this year where I've needed to cut a plastic pipe. The first time I cut it in my miter saw, which is a big mistake, although to be fair, that was before I changed the blade. It just tore the plastic pipe to shreds. The second occasion I used a little junior hacksaw, which was fine, but it really wasn't the straightest of cuts, and it left quite a lot of burring around the edge. The third time I used it, I really took my time, and I used the new blade on my miter saw, which was fine, but again it left some burring around the sides. Now this one is a very simple plastic pipe cutter. It will cut pipes that are up to 3.5mm thick, which I think is quite thick, and it will cut them up to 42mm wide. Now there were 2 when this was on. It was in the beginning of November. This was on the middle of Lidl. There was this one, and there was one for cutting metal pipes. I just didn't think I would use that enough to justify. This was $8.99, which sounds quite a lot, but probably for a tool that I'll use 3 or 4 times a year, I don't think that's bad. So you'll be pleased to know that's the end of the Parkside tools. But I did get a really useful tool from WorkZone. Let's have a look at that now. This next present from Santa I know is going to come in a lot of use. Very handy. In fact, when I was changing the lights in the workshop, or the light that I've changed, I ended up having to wear a head torch because it's quite awkward trying to stand on a ladder while simultaneously wiring something and bridging up a light with your arm. And this is an Aldi product. It's made by WorkZone, and it is their WorkZone lit beanie. So I'm going to try it on for you. I don't really think I've got the type of head that suits beanies, but this one is lovely and warm. It's super warm. I'll just get the light in the right place. So not only will it keep my head nice and warm in the workshop, which it will, but it's also got a light, which I'll try and switch on. Not very successfully, but it's got a lovely bright LED light on it, as you can see, which I can see really clearly with it. It's nice and strong, actually, very powerful. You can change the battery really straightforward. It's just a case of the inside of the plastic. Half of it's on the front here, and the rest is on the inside brim of the hat, and you just simply pop it out, and it takes one of those flat sort of clock, you know, watch type batteries. So nice and bright, and a really handy addition to my head and to the workshop. So my last 2 items are both by household names in the tool world. They weren't stocking fillers, far from it, and they are both items made by Dewalt. The first one is this set of chisels. Now, I do have a set of chisels at the moment. I've got like an entry-level work zone set, which are fine, but what I don't like about them is A, they don't stay sharp for very long. They blunt very easily, and I've had to sharpen them on my angle grinder quite a few times. And the second thing is, when you're hitting them, they just don't feel very sturdy. These ones are beautiful. They are fully rubberized grip, really nicely made. The connections between the grip, the shaft, is absolutely beautiful, whereas my ones are very small and a little bit fragile. So this is a set that I got on the 1st of December in the December screw fix set, and I bought them because they were $49.99 down to half price. I think I paid £24 for them. Absolutely fantastic, a quality set of chisels. And the other reason why I bought them is they've got different sizes to the sizes that I already have. So I've got a 6, a 12, an 18 and a 25, and I think my biggest one goes up to a 12, so they should complement them nice. So really nice set of Dewalt chisels. And the last present that Santa got me was another product by Dewalt. I do a lot of work with different types of screws, I'm sure as you do, and it is a set of Dewalt deep program organizer storage boxes. Now, you can buy these from lots of different manufacturers. Dewalt certainly aren't the only one. Stanley make one which looks actually identical. It's probably made in the same factory, but I don't know that, but it probably is. So this absolutely fantastic set. I'm getting to the point where I need more and more storage, and this set has a normal size, full size box and a little half size box. It's a really nice set. They're indestructible, these things. I've dropped them so many times, and touch wood, I haven't damaged them at all. This set was from Costco. It's about £29, I think, which was one of my main Christmas presents, but absolutely fantastic. Really good value for money. So that was the last present that I got given this Christmas. Okay, in this section I just want to talk through a couple of other YouTube channels that I'm watching at the moment. A massive shout out as well to Grumpy's workshop, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. He mentioned me on his channel a few weeks ago, and I added nearly 90 subscribers literally in the course of 3 or 4 days. So thanks very much for that, Grumpy, or Dave. Now I'll start with his channel. His is called Grumpy's Workshop. If you look at the channel, it's very similar projects to the sort of things that I do, but obviously Dave works at a much higher standard, and he's got some fantastic projects. I particularly enjoyed the one where he surfaced his garage floor, because it's one of the upcoming projects that I would like to do on the garage workshop when I can afford it. It's a really useful channel. I'll put his link on the screen there, but if you enjoy my videos and you've not seen it, really worth a look. Fantastic, and thank you for the support, Dave. I really appreciate that. The second, not to be confused with Grumpy's, is Grumpa's Workshop, and that one is a channel which I've recently started following. Really useful channel, and the chap that runs it, very similar to me. He's older, he does fantastic updates every week. I watch him every Sunday doing his updates on what's gone on in the workshop. He's got a really lovely style and does some fantastic projects. And the other thing is, he's got a lot of the tools that I have, and he's got a very similar interest. So he's got the same table saw as me, he buys Parkside tools the same as me. So if you like my channel, looking for something similar, he'll be a great person to catch up with, and I'll put his link below. Okay, the next channel I'd like to give a shout out to is Casual DIY, Thomas's channel. If you haven't had a chance to see this, I'll put the link here. He is amazing. His weekly updates and his projects are fantastic. Really detailed. He goes into it in a lot of detail about how you create things. He's got a really nice warm style to his presenting, and he just does some really great projects. If you're interested, check out his site. Also, I would recommend a couple. The whole series he made on a router extension for the Evolution Rage 5S table saw was brilliant, something I'd like to sort of copy in the future. So Thomas's Casual DIY channel, well worth a look. Okay, the next YouTube channel is a very well established channel, nearly 200,000 viewers now Keith has, and it's Rag and Bone Brown. He has got an amazing channel. He does some really good projects. It's not just all building with Keith. He recently did a series where he replaced a door, which was fantastic, a garage door, I think it was in his mother-in-law's house. All of his videos are very informative, very detailed. He has a really lovely calm style as well to his delivery, and every week I look forward to his videos. So his link is on the screen below. Really check him out. Well worth a look. The last of the English-based DIY YouTube channels is Peter Milaz. I think you've probably heard me mention Peter Milaz's channel below. I'll put a link on the screen now. His workshop videos are fantastic. Apart from having a really engaging style, Pete's a former cabinet maker, had his own business, and it's just fantastically interesting listening to his little anecdotes and his little bit part stories. So really good, and I have to admit I've copied a couple of his videos, and I've got a video coming up on the Garage Workshop where I'm trying to recreate one of the videos he did to see if any normal person can do it, so keep your eye open for that. But Peter Milaz's channel, fantastic, links on the screen, give it a look. The last of the English-based DIY YouTube channels is Peter Milaz. I think you've probably heard me mention Peter Milaz's channel below. I'll put a link on the screen now. His workshop videos are fantastic. Apart from having a really engaging style, Pete's a former cabinet maker, had his own business, and it's just fantastically interesting listening to his little anecdotes and his little bit part stories. So really good, and I have to admit I've copied a couple of his videos, and I've got a video coming up on the Garage Workshop where I'm trying to recreate one of the videos he did to see if any normal person can do it, so keep your eye open for that. But Peter Milaz's channel, fantastic, links on the screen, give it a look. The last YouTuber I'm giving a shout out to, although I don't need to do it, at nearly 700,000 subscribers, he certainly doesn't need my help, but Jason Hibbs's Bournemouth Woodworking, if you've not seen it, is an amazing channel. Jason has the most unique style. He's funny, he's irrelevant, he's irreverent, you name it, he's got it. He has a great style of his videos, but my God, the quality of the things that he produces is fantastic. I've been watching him ever since I first started. In fact, he was one of the main motivations for starting my channel, although he's on a different level to me. But his projects are amazing. I'll put the link here. If you want to go and check it out, look through his back catalogue. Just a few really enjoyable ones to name. When he made his ride-on lawnmower into a tank, that was fantastic. The epic long boat build. He's got 2 boat builds, a collaboration he did with somebody else. Go back and watch his first set. I think it was over 3 or 4 videos. Amazing. His garage is brilliant. When he replaced his dust system, that was fantastic. All of his videos are funny, really informative, but the quality of the products that he makes are brilliant. So that's my last shout out to Jason and the Bournemouth Workshop. So if you're still with me, fellow woodworkers, thank you very much. I know I've done a lot of talking, but hopefully you found some of the things interesting, and certainly some of the products that I opened earlier hopefully will be ones that might be on your list. My last section is just a mini workshop update. I want to start by saying thank you. As I mentioned in the main part of the video, Dave gave me a shout out on Grumpy's Workshop, and it increased my subscription massively. As you'll know if you've seen any of my videos, I didn't get into this to be rich or famous. I made this woodworking channel because for me, I just took up woodworking just as a hobby, and I started it during lockdown, and as I went through I thought this is something I'd like to document. The fact that some of you are out there watching it is absolutely amazing. I still don't understand why, but I'm really glad you do, and thank you so much for your ongoing support. If this is the first time you've seen a video from me, please subscribe, go back and look through my back catalogues. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I've got some really great videos on here. Just the last section before I go, I wanted to give you an update on some of the future projects that I've got planned for the workshop. As I briefly mentioned, I want to look to see if I can try and do something for the floor, because the floor in here is really uneven. But I also want to spend 2022 trying to make pieces of furniture or things that I can put in the house, because basically everything I've made so far, with the exception of the incense sticks box, which is, I'll put a link up there, pretty much everything I've made is for the workshop. I have got some more garage workshop storage that I've got to do, and I would want to make something to put my drills in, which is going to be one of my future projects. But everything else has been for out here, where it doesn't really matter as much what it looks like, and I want to make that next step now and trying to produce a piece of furniture that I can put into the house where it looks like it's been professionally made. So that's my major challenge. I have got some work to do in the workshop first though. As I just said, I need to make some clamp storage. I want to put somewhere to put my drills, and my tool wall, which is along here, which you can't really see at the moment, I want to rearrange all of it, because as fantastic as it is, it's not very easy to get to, and I quite often find myself leaning over things. I've also got a couple of tool things I want to change, so I'm going to change the blade in my table saw, and I want to do more work with my bandsaw. I've got a Titan bandsaw that I got from Screwfix, which I think I probably only used once in any of the videos that I've made for YouTube, so I'm going to do a little bit more with that. And of course I've got to finish off the dust collection for my mitre station. So please stick with me. If you are a regular viewer, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, don't forget to leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and also like and comment, and I'll see you in my future videos. Have a good rest of your Christmas break. Happy New Year, fellow woodworkers, and I'll catch you with a new video next week. Take care.